or say that you objected to what Trump was doing in arresting all these students and jailing them or throwing them out of the country? Have you done any of those things? If so, today is your day. Headline: Trump administration reverses course on student visa cancellations. Headline: international students who lost their immigration status will have it restored, government says. Headline: Trump is reversing the termination of legal status for international students around the U.S. People have been protesting about it instantly and everywhere and every day. People have been speaking out about it, making the case, calling on the conscience of the American people, which is what nonviolent protest is all about. The polling now shows in poll after poll after poll that the American public is absolutely and totally and by huge margins against what Trump has been doing to these students. And that pushback, that fight, has been not only popular, it has been ferocious. Headline: ACLU of West Virginia sues over West Virginia University students' revoked visa. Headline: UI, University of Iowa students sue Department of Homeland Security and ICE. Headline: 17 international students in Georgia accuse ICE of violating due process. New Haven residents sue Trump administration over revoked student visas. Rutgers international students sue feds over revoked status. UW-Madison international students file lawsuit. University of Texas Rio Grande Valley students sue Homeland Security. ACLU of Connecticut sues Trump administration over 60-plus students' visas being revoked. 3 international students in Colorado sue Trump administration over termination of immigration status. Gannon University students in Pennsylvania suing the federal government. Purdue students suing federal government over visa revocations. UC Berkeley international students sues Trump administration over revoked visa. There are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of these. I could go on. And those individual cases are all separate and apart from the really big cases involving multiple students, multiple jurisdictions. The big case filed a week ago today in federal court in New Hampshire, class action on behalf of all the foreign students whose visas have been yanked by Trump. That big case filed by 19 Democratic state attorneys general to stop it nationwide. That one take no prisoners lawyer in Georgia, the former president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, whose case started with 17 students in Georgia. Then he added more than 100 more. That lawyer telling CNN, quote, "I can file 133 lawsuits, but I think the court wouldn't be happy about that, so we are filing one big one." Well, all of those efforts effectively have now been victorious because Trump stopped. He had to stop wholesale attacking these thousands of students for the terrible crime of going to college in the United States. The Trump administration also today had to reverse itself on killing the crime victims hotline at the U.S. Justice Department. Why did you kill that? They've now had to put it back. The Trump administration now having to reverse itself on killing all translations of weather forecasts and weather emergency statements, because heaven forbid somebody who doesn't speak English might also receive the tornado warning. They've now had to reverse themselves and reinstate those translations. The Trump administration has now had to reverse itself and restore the funding Trump had cut for the largest and most important decades-long study of women's health, credited with saving countless women's lives, changing women's health globally, and saving billions of dollars in the American health system. It is a study that started in the 90s. It has enrolled over 160,000 American women. It is one of the most successful long-term medical studies in the history of science. And Trump just killed it, cut it off midstream with no warning. And now they have had to reverse that. Now the Trump administration has had to reverse itself on its not at all terrifying plan to create a national government registry of autistic people under the authority of Trump HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who, of course, talks about autistic people as if they are not even human. And now he's going to create a universal registry of everyone with an autism diagnosis in the United States. Are you kidding me? That was his plan. Now he's had to reverse himself on that as well. Today, the Trump administration has had to reverse itself on cutting food safety scientists at the FDA. Trump's new hand-picked FDA commissioner actually went on CNN this week and denied that those scientists had been fired. He said, quote, "I can tell you there were no cuts to scientists or inspectors. There absolutely were firings of scientists and inspectors cut from food and drug safety labs all across the country, including, I should mention, from the veterinary division of FDA, where what they were working on was the bird flu." He didn't even know, oh, they haven't been cut. Now they've quietly started reinstating all those scientists and inspectors that they actually did cut, but they didn't want to admit it, let alone defend it, and so now they've had to reverse it. All of those reversals within the last day. I mean, listen, it's Friday. I'm sorry. I run out of things to give by the time we get to Friday. So sometimes I'm a little more blunt on Fridays than I am other days. I'm sorry. It's exhaustion. But listen, it's not like we didn't know it was going to be terrible, right? This week, after all, it's the 5-year anniversary of Trump in his first term, telling the country that maybe we should all inject bleach or disinfectants into our bodies. Because sure, that would probably take care of COVID, right? Do you remember Lysol had to put out a disclaimer saying, please do not actually inject disinfectant into your body? My God, we realize the president just said to do that, but please do not. That was 5 years ago this week. We've had time to settle into what it's like to have Donald Trump in a position of power, right? So it's not like we didn't know it was going to be terrible. And it is terrible. He really did have a judge arrested today. And we will have more on that in a moment. But that wasn't all. I mean, today we learned that Trump is killing off the federal funding for Narcan. Narcan, the anti-overdose miracle that has literally saved hundreds of millions of American lives in the last few years. There are hundreds of thousands of Americans who are alive today who would not be alive without Narcan. It is a miracle that saves people from overdose. And Trump, in his first term, bragged and bragged and bragged about how much his administration supported Narcan and how much they'd done to make sure everywhere in the country could get Narcan. Now he's killing it off. And killing off programs to combat opioid addiction at the same time. Trump really is completely zeroing out, completely eliminating Head Start everywhere in the country because, God forbid, American kids can go to preschool, because that's a terrible thing. A complete termination of that 60-year-old program. Trump really is killing off Meals on Wheels because, heaven forbid, old people and disabled people and people with mobility problems get meals delivered to them and somebody to check in on them. They're getting rid of the agency that runs that. Trump has already fired half the staff from that agency, and Trump has closed all 10 of the regional offices that oversee Meals on Wheels. Because Donald Trump is against Meals on Wheels for some reason. This was 2 days ago in Morgantown, West Virginia. People out protesting against Trump firing nearly everyone. 85% of people at NIOSH, the Occupational Safety and Health Agency that oversees coal mines. People out in West Virginia protesting that 2 days ago. Trump has cut the Mine Health and Safety Administration and the agencies that serve coal miners. And West Virginia is up in arms about it. We knew it was going to be bad, and it is bad. But the American people, God bless them. God bless us. The American people is under no illusions about it. And the American people is very broadly and now very consistently and very, very affirmatively against what Trump is doing. Even the stuff that he thinks you'll like, that he says for political effect, the American public is resoundingly saying no to all of it. And they're saying no in the polls, and they are saying no in the streets. And that, in the end, with the courts, that's going to be the only thing that matters. He's not even 100 days in, and we are in desperation mode from him already. Arresting a judge today. Are you kidding me? That is a sign of weakness, not strength. It is the public